grinds my gears is what it does.
Your gears have been grinded.
Ground. If you
Ground?
Grounded.
Is the past
Grinded.
tense of grind ground?
Are your grounded gears perhaps made out of iron?
Ooh, I see what you did there, big beefy boy.
I think the past tense is ground. I think it is.
Look at this. We're getting educated already. Just literally just popped on like that. And we're dropping
think,
knowledge.
Not a thesaurus or a Webster's dictionary or anything, but I think it's ground. I think.
I will take your
We are
word
joined by AEW Ring of Honor, friend of the show, superstar, Mr. Boulder. He's got many nicknames. He's the Sauce Hoss. He's the Beefcake Boulder. He's Beefcake Charlie. He is with us now tonight. Mr. Boulder, how are you?
I'm very good. I'm just laying stomach first on my bed with my feet kicking like a girl in a 90s movie. I'm just doing that really right now.
Giving us all the feels.
A slumber party.
Yes.
Yeah, should we talk about crushes and boys we want to kiss?
Yeah, of course.
Fuck yeah.
Actually, fun fact, I saw rest his soul, I saw Vader in the same position on the grass in front of the Rahway Rec Center back in 2015.
That must have been sexy.
With Balls Mahoney's son crawling on his back.
Oh God!
All right now.
No. Listen, I love balls, but God, his
Of course you do.
Freaking...
Isolate that. 59 minutes, 12 seconds. I love balls.
It's okay.
His son was a nightmare.
Oh, Christopher?
Yeah. Come on, tell me when I'm telling lies.
It's just that's an amazing sight to see. Was Vader with no shirt, laying stomach first in the grass at like 10 o'clock at night on the phone.
He was talking to his sweetie pie.
Probably.
Now, were you able to get a picture with the mask when he was there, or no?
No, I didn't, but a couple other guys did, and I was insanely jealous.
Dude, I was like so close. I was there. I was just like, should I? But I felt like if he like saw me, I'd be dead.
I never even asked him how he would make the smoke come out of it.
Oh, damn. Did he ever answer that?
Wrestling magic.
He did an interview one time, and I think I actually owned this DVD where the way he described how the smoke came out of that Mastodon mask was, I quote, a mechanical mechanism.
Well, I don't know if you know this, but dear good Matt is a dear good close personal friend of Vader. They had like an hour conversation before he joined us on the show.
Interesting.
Matt, right?
It was definitely interesting.
I'm sure it was.
We'll leave it at that. He was very stern on me making sure I mentioned that he was a Super Bowl champion with the Rams, but up until the point that he had played, the Rams had never won a Super Bowl, so I was not going to say that.
That's actually, that's kind of true. It doesn't really add up, but who am I to call the man a liar?
He may have played in the Super Bowl because they lost to the Steelers, but he is not a Super Bowl champion.
He would be an NFC conference champion.
Yes.
He was probably ribbing you, trying to get you to say something that you didn't know was true or not.
No, can't get one over on this guy.
Apparently not.
So, Boulder, I'm sorry. This is going to be very difficult for me.
Well, what do you prefer? Let's ask him. What do you prefer?
Oh, yeah, that's a great question.
Yeah. I don't know. Everyone,
hi, Nelly.
For so long now, people just call me Beef. Or, couple years, it's just been Boulder, which I like. So, but you guys can call me whatever you want. You know me. I don't care.
Do we need to do a sidebar and figure out what we're going to call him this whole interview,
No,
guys?
just call him Boulder. If that's what he goes by, then call him Boulder.
I think I might want to call him Beef.
You can, definitely. I mean, now it's Beefcake Boulder, all like, well, no, it's actually 2 words. Yeah, but you can call me at. You guys can call me whatever you feel comfortable calling me. That's fine. I'm not going to yell or anything.
Oh, well, that's disappointing. I was hoping you were going to yell.
I'm tired.
How, so all the different name changes, is that frustrating for you when you you guys are Bear Country, then you're the Iron Savages, then you're Bear Boulder, then you're Boulder, then you're Beefcake Charlie. Is that frustrating for you, or is that just part of the business?
Not really. I mean, well, I haven't been Beefcake Charlie in I think like 7 years.
It's
But
disappointing.
can't. I mean, some people like to bring that up, but no one really ever calls me that anymore. It's usually just either Beef or Boulder. And then in third place is probably just Beefcake, which is fine. You know,
Beefcake.
I respond to all of them. So I respond to all. Kevin, what do you call me?
He calls you. His mic is muted.
Oh, okay.
No, so all right. So the cord came out, and then I guess as soon as you plug it back in, I guess it automatically mutes you. I call you Beef.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
You definitely do.
One of the greatest hangs in the wrestling business. This guy's my like wingman, bro man, like bro hang for life. This guy.
Every time I see Kevin, it always ends up us just hanging out and having a few drinks together.
Yeah, it's always a good time. So let me ask you this, because Bear Country was a totally different thing than the Iron Savages, especially the way that the Iron Savages have evolved and developed lately. How did you feel about going from just basically two big, like, legit, like, angry, like, no nonsense fucking destroyers, which you guys still are, but now you were adding so much more personality to the characters that you guys didn't necessarily always do in Bear Country? How has that made you feel, and how have you adapted to that?
So actually, when Iron Savages first came along, we were kind of still just doing the same Bear Country, but we had a manager. It was, God, I feel
JP something? JT?
Yeah, JT Davidson.
Yes.
He came at the recommendation of MJF, and his nickname was the Iron Manager. So I guess it was an idea by the office that, hey, these guys, this is the Iron Manager. We're going to call his guys the Iron Savages.
Nice.
And we just showed up to a dark taping one day, and we just saw Iron Savages on the board, and we didn't know who it was. And I'm like, could that be us? Like, I don't know. Like, who are these guys? And then we later found out it was us.
So, I mean, this gimmick is very much these characters you guys have is very much based on your real life, because you guys are constantly posting stuff about you guys in the gym. Like you're constantly posting gym pics. So, how much of that of your real self did you want to incorporate in this new development of the Iron Savages?
Well, it's amazing now. I'm having the most fun I've ever had in my career doing it. But again, it didn't start like that. Iron Savages started out pretty much us doing pretty much the same thing Bear Country was. And then our manager, JT Davidson, he was having some pretty serious health issues, and he had to step away from wrestling. So when that happened, we were like, oh, well, okay, what do we do now? We were just kind of in limbo for like a month or two. And then actually the idea for the Gym Bro gimmick with the Iron Savages was actually an idea of QT Marshall.
Nice.
And he was the one who kind of pulled us aside and was like, hey guys, like when I think of Iron Savages, what I think of like gym, like pumping iron and stuff like that. And then Jack Jameson, who's a student at the Nightmare Factory and a good friend of ours now, he was brought into the fold as kind of like a mouthpiece and a hype man, because the guy can talk. He can talk up a storm, and he's an amazing hype man, a lot of confidence, in insanely good shape. And I think the three of us, you know, we've been doing it for close to a year now. I wouldn't say we've perfected everything, but it kind of feels like we're hitting our stride right now.
Do you ever get nervous? Because you do the thing where you take your straps of your singlet and you pull them over, over to the nips. Do you ever get nervous that it's going to snap, or do you have it pretty much down to a science at this point?
You ever worn a wrestling singlet?
Never.
They're very stretchy. There's a lot of give to them, especially it depends on who makes them. I've never had that fear in my life pulling on a strap on a wrestling singlet.
And it'll just come right back into form,
just like kind of suck right back in.
Kevin likes sucking it back in.
Easy, big fella.
Hi-oh. You guys went from being like a mainstay on AEW Dark to one of the prominent tag teams in Ring of Honor now. What was that change like for you? Because I feel like behind the Ring of Honor banner, I think you guys are getting more exposure.
I think so too. Dark, we were kind of sad to see Dark go away because it was a very fun platform. When they were doing the Dark and Ring of Honor tapings at Universal Studios, I really liked doing those, not just because I live 10 minutes away and it's an easy travel day for me, but it kind of gave Dark and Ring of Honor its own feel in like that kind of smaller enclosed environment. It gave it a different feel than actually AEW itself. Right. And I like that. And not to say that trust me, it's really cool going to these big arenas and wrestling on a Ring of Honor banner in front of all these fans. Like we just came back from Edinburgh, Texas, and that was a very, very hot crowd. They stayed till like 10 p.m. just on their feet the entire time. It was great.
So what would you say would be your like most pivotal match since you started with AEW / Ring of Honor? Like, what match do you really look back and say like, fuck, like this is like, because I know you just recently wrestled the undisputed Kingdom off top of like their hottest angle. Is there a match, or is there a match where you felt like you really just like, fuck, this is awesome?
So I have a few like that. The first one is it's definitely our first match we've ever had in AEW. Our first time doing Dark, and we wrestled Uno and Stu from the Dark Order, and that was a great match. It was very fun. It's the match that they loved it in the back, and Cody personally pulled us aside and invited us to come back for the next set of tapings, and we kept coming back, and after a while we got contracted. Since we were there, I mean, not really in a most positive light, but a match that sticks out to me is our match April 2021 on Dynamite against Jurassic Express. That was the match where I tore my bicep.
Yeah.
Not very fun. But a couple of having a stare down moment with Sting, like my first match coming back from injury, I'll never forget that. And these matches, I think my favorite opponents, I think, have been the Acclaimed. Just because, I know them so well, and because we had some really fun like tag and trios matches. The matches in Ring of Honor that really stick out was so anytime the Ring of Honor tag titles have been defended on Honor Club, we've been the guys that they've been defending them against. The first one was against Aussie Open, and the second one was against Undisputed Kingdom. Were both very good matches for very great opponents, and I'm very proud of those matches, very proud of those performances, and I'm very happy to see where we go next.
Do you guys, we just had Kate on for Fightful, and we touched on, Brian Keith is apparently in the chat, and people sending death threats to The Rock's daughter because of everything that's happening. Do you guys pay attention to stuff that's said online? Because I know when you guys challenged FTR for the tag titles in September on Collision, a lot of people kind of were like, who the fuck are these guys, and why are they getting this opportunity? Do you guys hear all that rumble, or do you just full speed ahead and go out there and prove why you belong there?
Well, yeah, we hear it, we see it, we talk about it, and the thing is, dude, I can't stand Twitter. I really hate it.
Yes.
If it was up to me, I just wouldn't have it, because I can't stand going every day and seeing people literally just going back and forth and saying these unreal toxic things to each other about wrestling of all things. And like, people, it's not that serious.
All right.
Just like, and I mean, I know it varies on person to person, but when I see stuff like that, it really doesn't affect me too much. The only person the only person I really care about, please, and he seems pretty happy with us so far. So who am I to complain?
So you mentioned knowing the Acclaim very well because of your past in Creative Pro and Wrestle Pro and all that stuff. This is a homework question first and foremost, but how does it make you feel like knowing like all these guys that are based out of Creative Pro and Wrestle Pro, guys and girls actually, that have basically made AEW a home? How does that make you feel, and how can you not justify? That was silly. Like, how does that make you feel in terms of what you've been trained?
it makes me feel very proud because, you know, it's I tell people a lot. If you look between Creative Pro and Wrestle Pro, we have me, Bronson, Mark, Max, Chris. We have 6 people signed as wrestlers. 1 is a manager. Well, actually, in AEW, we have six people signed as wrestlers. 1 is a manager. 1 is a referee, and we have 1 signed as a referee in NXT. Like, it's a very, you know, it's a place I'm very proud to say I've come from. And I remember, like, this isn't exposing too much, but I remember after one of our first times at AEW, you know, we were having a little after party in the hotel, and a bunch of the Creative Pro guys, we all took a picture together. And Tony happened to be walking by us while we were taking the picture, and he's looking at us, and he's like, "Is this all like this is all Creative Pro? Like, all you guys, this is all Creative Pro?" We were like, "Yeah," and he just kind of like nodded and was like, "Oh, sure, that's really cool," and then just kind of like walked away. But it was like that was a pretty cool feeling. I still have that picture in my phone.
Are your family and friends very supportive of your wrestling?
Very. I talk to my dad every week. Like, whenever I fly into a city, and as soon as I check into the hotel, the first thing I do is call my dad. And,
Is it? Do you have to explain to Grandma at Christmas dinner the spreading the cheeks and eating the ass mannerisms that you're now doing?
Not really, because I wait for them to bring it up to me, which they never do. So, and then I have very young cousins, like under 10 years old, that watch me wrestle. Their parents don't bring it up to me, and I don't bring it up. But it's they get a kick out of watching it. So, who am I to you know, poison their minds with the intrusive thoughts that come out on screen?
Are you prepared for that conversation when you are at a family gathering and somebody does the spread the cheeks and butt eating mannerism, and they say, "Well, I learned it from Uncle Beef"?
Oh, I have. I'll just you know, I think that'll be my big. All right, everyone, I'm gonna come clean. My who I am in wrestling is just a dirty, gross pervert. But I think, and then that's when I get shunned and won't be invited to any more family functions, and just kind of wrestle as, you know, wrestling is my dark secret from my family.
Well, that's fine. Once you get shunned from your family, you can come over to my family gatherings.
That's great. I'd like to see that.
The opportunity to work AEW, you kind of told, you know, Cody invited you guys back, and you keep going back, and now you're kind of one of the flagship tag teams in Ring of Honor. What does that mean to you, knowing the lineage of tag teams that have come out of Ring of Honor?
It feels fantastic. And the thing was, I really didn't get into Ring of Honor until I started training for wrestling. Maybe my sophomore year of college, which was like 2010, I just stopped watching wrestling for like a whole year. And then summer of 2011, literally like right after Punk cuts the pipe bomb promo, I kind of got back into it. But when I got back into it, like, I got back into it hard. Like, I started watching Ring of Honor and indie wrestling and all like the old Japan stuff. And I reminded myself, I'm like, oh shit, I actually wanted to do this. So then, like, a year after I graduated, that's when I started.
So you mentioned Cody saw you and asked you guys to come back. Did he ever see you at WrestlePro? And then, like, did he, like, was that ever a conversation?
So
a couple times he worked there?
I remember the show he did where he wrestled Pat. I met him. It was kind of just like a high and by thing, except Pat told me, I think later that week at training, that he's like, "Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, because I guess some reason I stayed in my gear all night." He was like, "Oh yeah, also you popped Cody big because like you were helping break down the ring and cleaning up everything while you were still in gear," and he thought that was really funny. That's just what I remember from that show.
I was just curious because I was wondering if, like, he remembered. Do you think he put 2 and 2 together that was you from?
I really don't think he did.
Okay.
But that was just a funny story that happened from that night. Like, when we showed up, I don't think he remembered us, but I think from while he was still there, Cody was pretty detrimental. Well, no, detriment. That's not the word. Instrumental. Now I need a thesaurus. Instrumental in our.
I like detrimental. Someone will transcribe this and it'll turn into a big thing.
I really hope not. That's why.
Oh, it will. Them wrestling journalist rats? They'll run with one of these things.
Of course. But my whole
beef says Cody is detrimental. Stop it, Nelly.
All right, bye guys.
No, stop it. It's not.
He was-
We're fucking around. It's not that serious.
I know. But
Yeah.
like,
Someone do it.
because by the time we were signed, Cody was there for maybe another year, and for our first year there, Cody was very instrumental to what we accomplished there. He took a liking to us. He actually went out of his way to agent some of our matches. He was a very, very positive figure to have there, and I miss him. And I still, not very often, like I still keep in touch with him to this day. Every now and then I reach out to him and tell him I love what he's doing, and you know, he's someone that I'm very proud to know, and I guess to call a friend. So
Right.
Now, does he smell better than Danny Moff though?
no one on not so this isn't just for wrestlers. This is just anyone in this planet that has ever existed has never smelt better than Dan Moff.
I agree, 100%. Nicest smelling human I've ever met.
Yep.
All you got to do is go down to those bodegas in Newark and get those body oils.
I don't know how I would
That's
feel
a
about
secret. Did you just
body
expose
oils.
Moff?
You mentioned you
That's
guys
gonna be the headline, not Cody's detrimental. That's gonna be the headline.
No, he's gonna fly to Florida and eat me.
You mentioned you guys have signed contracts. How long will we see you in Ring of Honor AEW? Is that something you could talk about?
Well, I can tell you we signed our first contracts literally on New Year's Eve of 2020.
Awesome.
And can't really talk about like what the future holds,
Right.
but we plan on sticking around for a long time and really help bolstering up that tag division of Ring of Honor. You know, everyone wants to say, you know, they love to be on TV every week and be, you know, the champions and be featured every week. And that's great and everything, but I'm not a demanding person. I don't expect the world. I'm very happy with what we're doing. I know it's not perfect yet, and we're still, you know, not really throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks, but we're still trying. We're trying to find our stride. You'll notice every match we're trying to do something different, trying to see what sticks, trying to see what people like. And that's what wrestling is.
Now, I know you said... Oh, sorry, Kev.
How have you utilized social media to gain more exposure in terms of your guys' actual like personas and characters?
I'm going to be 100% honest. That's really mostly Bronson and Jameson, because I told you I hate social media and I'm not very good at it. But we try to film stuff when we're on the road, whether it's for just stuff to post on Instagram and Twitter, or for being the Dark Order, because we've been featured on some of those episodes. We just try to find either anywhere with weights or just go to a gym and just film ourselves being silly and horny and stuff like that.
Matt,
silly and horny.
Last one for me before you go, and then we'll wrap it up eventually. Did you ever think, like back when you started, like how like high was your confidence back then when you were Beefcake Charlie and you were doing the stuff with, you know, the aesthetic males and Gibbs and all that stuff, like, which was awesome, which was entertaining as hell. But how did you see your career going then, and has it met like kind of what your expectations may have been at the time?
I think I was just in a whole different mindset back then. Obviously, you know me, I'm a ham. I love making people laugh. I love entertaining people, but it was, I don't know. I kind of, not really my wrestling more seriously, but I wish I kind of took myself and my physical appearance a little more seriously back then. I kind of thought, like, at the time, it was like, well, I could just make people laugh and I can get away with anything. I mean, not calling it easy or anything, because like a good example is like I love Colt Cabana. And it's like, at the time I thought like, oh, I could try to be like the next Colt Cabana because people love him and he's over and he's everywhere and people love him. And like, it just, obviously it's a lot harder than he makes it look. And I wasn't really going anywhere with it until, you know, me and Bronson was kind of doing his own thing, but you know, he was only like a couple of years in, maybe like 2 or 3 years in. And then we were both not really doing much. So we got the idea to team together.
Do you prefer tag team work? Because I know what were you, Aesthetics Enterprise with Gibbs
Aesthetic
for a
males.
while?
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, most of my career I have been a tag wrestler. I don't think I really prefer one or the other. I guess if I had to say I prefer one, it would, you know, if I'm doing tag matches and like there's multiple people in the match, like I can pick up multiple people and throw them around, which always gets a great reaction from the crowd. But, you know, I don't really get to do too many singles matches, but it doesn't say I don't like doing them.
Oh no, my internet. Do you have a what is your relationship with Tony Khan? Is he involved with a lot of the Iron Savages stuff, or do you ever
Well,
get feedback from him?
so the thing is, Tony is a very, 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 extremely, very busy guy.
Of course.
And most of the time I feel not afraid to talk to him, but it's like, well, he has so much to do, and I'm down here, and like I don't want to bother him with my ideas or problems. But he's not like that. He's a very nice guy. He'll give you the time of day, and he watches all our matches from Gorilla and Ring of Honor, and he'll give us feedback, tell us what he likes, what he doesn't like. He's very, very hands-on. Like I've never met a guy in a position of power in wrestling that really, really cares like he does. Not just about his overall product, but about the well-being and happiness of all his employees. So I'm very happy to work for him.
If you were a gambling man,
I'm not.
Do you think Tony Khan does the mannerism? Do you think he spreads the cheeks and he eats the butt?
Do you want to hear a story?
Oh yeah, yes.
Okay. After one of our matches, it got a very good. He was he came to he was like congratulating us on the match, and then we're walking away, and he goes, "Oh, Iron Savages, by the way, great job with the butt munching stuff." He called it butt munching. And said,
That's fucking fantastic.
He called them his regular friends, which I guess are like friends that don't watch wrestling.
Okay.
That maybe sometimes do, like sporadically. He was like, "Yeah, my regular friends were watching. They said they loved it." I'm like, "Oh, yeah, great." And then we started walking. Like, thank you. That's so great. And then we started walking away again. And then he calls us back a third time, and he goes, "Hey guys!" And then we look back, and he does it in front of us. He went,
"That's
whoa.
Awesome."
That's fucking hysterical.
That
It's
has to be like
my brain. I will never ever forget as long as I live.
That also has to be like the biggest. That's a compliment though when
Yes.
you know it's working, right? When Tony Khan takes a couple minutes out of his day to watch that and then have a good laugh with you about it. I think that's awesome. That's a fucking great story, man.
Another time was when we really first started doing the Titty City thing. It was the first time a big Titty City chant broke out in the crowd, and the agent for our match goes, "Oh my God, they're chanting titties," and then because we were told that after our match, and then Tony's like, Tony thought the crowd was chanting meat, but the agent goes, "No, they're chanting. I think they're chanting titties," and Tony's like, he's like listening more. And then he smacks the agent on the shoulder and goes, "Oh my God, they're screaming titties."
For someone who said they got out of wrestling and then got back in, you had the opportunity, you and Bronson and Jack Jameson, to share their ring with the Von Erichs in Texas a couple months ago. How awesome was that?
So first of all, let me just say, Brian Keith, that show was in Texas. Brian Keith coming out to Mike Jones, Still Tipping, in Texas, I thought that was a huge pop. But then to be in the ring when Stranglehold is playing and the Von Erichs come out and the place is going wild and we had a hell of a 6-man tag, that, you know what? That's a match that I left out. That's one of the matches I'm probably most proud about.
It's got to be.
That was a fantastic night and a fantastic match and a awesome atmosphere.
Now I got two questions from me.
No
One,
problem.
because we have a mutual friend. I don't know if you remember when we went to the hockey game. You used to work with him at the liquor store. We call him Ears, but you would know him as Alex. So,
oh yeah, I love Alex.
He'll be thrilled to hear that you were on the show.
Oh, of course.
But secondly, I gotta ask everybody.
Oh, here we go.
This might be a great answer.
When was the last time you shit your pants?
Huh.
Oh, a thinker. He's a thinking.
It wasn't Disney. It was
Happiest place on earth.
That's the name of the episode. It wasn't Disney.
that was close. It was a close call that one day, but I didn't.
Were you just walking around or were you riding something?
Dude, it's probably I was walking around, but honestly, it's probably sometimes when it's to and from the gym. Because I don't know what it is. Me and my buddy Bam, we joke about it. We call it the magnets in our stomach. Like if you think you're not gonna make it in time, you're like, oh dude, the magnets are pulling really hard today. And it's either every day, it's literally every day, either when I get to the gym or when I come back from the gym. I don't know what it is. Like I think I want to see a doctor about it because I don't think this is normal, and it concerns me some days. But then other days I'm just like, oh, it's just the magnets.
Yeah.
The magnets.
The magnets.
But when it actually like happened, I've just had maybe close to 100 close calls like in the last 2 years, but like nothing ever.
And nothing ever in the ring, like Stone Cold.
Or Sid? No. But in the ring, no. But I have been in the ring with someone who has.
Nice.
Vader?
I don't say his name because
So you don't have to. But how does that like how does that get?
All
like,
right.
No, you don't. Please don't. I don't want you to throw anybody under the bus. But how does that like it happens and then what do you guys do? Like someone's like, hey, I shit my pants. Let's go home.
Take it home.
Well, I'm just gonna say it.
Don't do it.
It was Nick
Say
Gage.
it.
Nick Gage.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
fine.
Why does it not surprise me?
It was on a Beyond Wrestling show, and he said, "Look, feeling
I
very
shit
well."
my motherfucking pants.
It was kind of like I gave him a body slam, and then like I picked him up and I gave him another one, and he said the second one is where it happened. And like I smelled it, he rolled out of the ring, and the people in the crowd smelled it, and like he apologized in the back later, and he was like, yeah, man, I'm sorry, I had a really it was those fucking gas station burritos, man, fucked me up, man. And I'm like,
Was it
hey,
on the way up or was it on the way down?
I think it happened like when he just landed on the mat. I guess the fourth.
But then he rolls out of the ring and you guys just take it home?
No. Well, luckily it wasn't a very long match because it
How
was
many
only
fucking tables did you have to put him through?
Actually it was only like a 5-minute match, and then it ended in some kind of schmaz. It was like a total gimmick match, but very apologetic words. And then later I saw him throw the shorts away. I'm like, oh no, dude, no, someone will probably buy those.
Oh, 100% somebody would. Some fucking weirdo. Oh, that's fucking hysterical.
Bro, after it was the big tournament that GCW does every year. Is it the Nick Gage Invitational? Tournament of Survival. It was one of them.
Okay.
It was one of them, and I remember he won it, and the blood-soaked camo shorts that he wore for the whole tournament, some fan bought him off him right after the tournament for $600.
Bro, people are fucking weird.
Yeah, man. Ugh.
What's the so we had Kate from Fightful on before for Kate's Corner, and like being a woman in the wrestling industry isn't the easiest thing, and her DMs probably get flooded with weird shit. But as a beefy boy, what's the weirdest shit that slid into your DMs?
Oh, I'm not really fazed by anything anymore, but it's let's just say I have a very certain demographic that loves to watch me wrestle. Mostly people that like. So it's
yeah, big fan of the Bears are big fans.
Roar.
Of the Beast Boy, huh?
Oh yeah, how do you think I was able to make money when I was struggling on the indies?
Is the wizard texting you from beyond the dead?
No, thank God. He only DM'd me once when he was still alive, and nothing ever happened. I swear.
How many times did he DM you after he died?
Thankfully, none.
All right, buddy.
You sure
Let me ask-
you weren't getting any fucking texts from like KM like fucking with you? Like, hey, it's me.
Kevin still talks to me in that voice to this day.
Of course he does.
Hey.
That's one thing that'll never get old, man. The fucking Wizard's been gone a long time, but goddamn, the fucking moments were just cherished.
Oh yeah.
So,
I'll never meet another old man like that in my life again.
you better hope so, buddy. You're a big guy, and I saw the video from KM of you guys coming back from.
On the plane.
Yeah, is it uncomfortable for you to get those long flights jamming into those fucking tiny seats?
Well, it depends on where I sit. I mean, like I have pretty good status with United Airlines, so I get a lot of complimentary like first class upgrades, and
Oh, nice.
I can upgrade to like economy plus for no charge, and like I actually have room in those seats. They're not as small as people think. Or I'll just, hey, like no one's in this exit row. Let me just jump in here, and I can literally like lay across the seats.
Yeah.
What do you?
Oh, I don't know how they do it. Like friggin' like Satnam. I don't know. He does it every week.
He's a big man.
That dude's over 7 feet tall.
It's a lot of man there. What do you hope for the Iron Savages in 2024?
I guess like most people would just say, we want more TV time and we want to be featured more. But what I really want to see is I want to see us gel. I want to see us find our stride. Like I said, I hate social media, but I know I have to work on it and try to expand my presence, which, it's kind of tough when you see fans just yelling at each other every day. It makes you not want to be a part of it.
Right.
But I know it comes with the job. And I want to get our presence known. I want people to know who we are, and I want people to want to see us. That's really what it comes down to.
So like obviously part of our job is to be critical about stuff that we see and don't necessarily like, or we compliment stuff that we do like. But something I'll never be critical of and always compliment is your ability to do impressions of professional wrestlers. Something that is literally uncanny. Who is your favorite wrestler to do the voice of, and can you leave our audience with a little bit?
I don't know. I've done a Macho Man impression so much, but I don't even think it's that good.
Is you have a good Brett, right? Don't you have a good Brett, or no?
Not really. I mean,
No?
like all you got to do is just kind of talk like in a low tone and just kind of try to put on a little bit of a Canadian accent. But like, I don't know, someone to like alter my voice and really sound like, I really don't know anymore. Also, my voice has changed.
Right.
Weirdly
Oh,
enough.
congratulations. You hit puberty?
I know. Sometimes, dude, I'm 33 years old. My voice still cracks sometimes.
The magnets weren't the only thing dropping in Bear's life.
I mean, thank God they finally did.
All right, so basically, I set something up. I set us up for failure. You're not going to do one. Basically,
I mean, I don't want to leave you hanging, but I don't even know. I don't really know any that I even do real good. I don't want to embarrass myself.
What about Warrior? You did a good Warrior.
Ask Kevin to tell you a joke. Let's make it really uncomfortable.
Yeah, I'll embarrass the fuck out of myself.
Why don't you do a Beefcake Charlie impersonation?
Oh God,
You've been hearing that for almost an hour.
I was just trying to give you an out, bro.
That's it.
You got a Nick Gage? Can you do a Nick Gage? I shit my fucking pants.
That's just
MDK all day.
He was just he's like, hey man, I'm fucking sorry about that, man. It's just a fucking cat. It's like that. Sometimes, man, it's fucked up how they just leave that food all out and they just expect to fucking eat it, man. It's, I just didn't have any choice. I was fucking hungry, man. Just fucking shit myself, man. I'm sorry, bro.
You know what? I'll take it. I fucking love it.
Nailed it.
Beef, you've been fantastic. I know he said he's not big on social media, but give him a follow at bear_Boulder on Twitter. On Instagram, it's at Boulder_AEW. Maybe if he gets more followers, he'll do more stuff on social media.
I'll be silly.
Yeah.
Silly
Follow the
stuff.
silly man. Yeah.
And you can see him every Thursday night on ROH Honor Club, ringofhonor.com. And, you never know when he's going to pop up on Collision, Dynamite, Rampage. The Iron Savages are a force to be reckoned with in 2024, people.
Fuck yeah.
Stay tuned. Big things to come.
I love it. Next time you're up in Jersey, let's hit a Devils game, baby.
You know it. Actually, I'll be seeing them soon. They're playing at Tampa again, and then they're playing at Sunrise later in the year.
Yep, that's right. Yeah, of course. I know. There it is. Boom.
Love you guys.
Beef, thanks for your time, brother.
Love you,
Be
Beef,
well.
bro.
Enjoy
You
the
too,
rest
brother.
of your night.
Be well.
Anytime. Good luck, guys.
See ya.